A pinball machine's backglass art is a valuable feature of every game. As games age, the artwork deteriorates, and in many older games, it's irreplaceable. In this show, you'll see how to preserve and protect your backglass art with our superb Markseal backglass sealant.
All Pinball Australia presents the Pinball Expert Show.
Most older pinball machines have silk-screened backglass art with the artwork applied directly to the glass. As these backglasses age, the artwork deteriorates and eventually begins cracking, peeling, or lifting off the glass. To prevent this, we have a special product available to preserve your pinball's backglass art. It's called Markseal. Now we'll move to our workshop where I'll demonstrate Markseal and how to apply it. Okay, we're here inside the workshop. Now we'll head over to the table I've set up for sealing backglasses. Okay, the things you're going to need for this job, you're going to need some glass cleaner and you're going to need some lint-free cloth. You can use paper towel, but I recommend cloth, as paper towel can leave some bits of paper sometimes. Okay, you'll also need a paintbrush. Any cheap brush will do, as long as it's new and clean. And the other thing I recommend is having some of these caps. Now the reason for them, you want 4 of them, is you need to have the back glass elevated off the table. So if you look here, I'll just spread these out. Just make sure they're all the same size. And then set your glass on top of them. Okay, now first thing you want to do is look at the condition. Now this one, as you can probably see, has got some flaking. I'll just see if I can zoom that in a little bit. Yeah, so as you can see, and up here it's starting to peel off just around here. That's going to be really hard to clean. You're not going to have much success in that. You'll just end up taking more paint off. But fortunately, Markseal can handle that. The glass doesn't need to be clean. Markseal will keep any dust and dirt that's on there in its place when you seal it over, and it'll still bond the glass fine. But what I do recommend you do is get yourself a clean rag, spray some cleaner on the actual cloth, and just clean the clear areas where you can see scores, just very gently, very carefully, because the paint around there can be pretty delicate and fragile too, like this one. I can see bits more coming off, so you've got to be very careful with that. Just get that as clean as you can. And if it's an electromechanical glass like this one, don't forget the replay score window too. Now you need to let that dry, make sure that's completely dried, and then just give it a dry wipe after you finish cleaning it. Get any dust or anything that's left on there. You want to get it as clean as you can. The rest of it, and this, I would normally clean a glass, but this one you don't have to. Now when you're applying this, it's real simple. Take your paintbrush. Now for this exercise, for the demonstration here, I've put some Markseal in a pressure pack lid. So you fill it up to about just a bit below the top, then just pour it on. You don't have to be too worried about it. It won't leave any runs or streaks. Take your paintbrush and just gently spread it out. Now where your glass is flaking, you want to just barely be touching the glass. You really only want to be spreading the Markseal and not even touching the glass. Like up here in this corner, which is a bit delicate, just get it over the top of it and it'll run into all the cracks and openings. That's another reason you have it elevated, because drops will go over the side. Don't worry about those. That'll all dry off. So you can see bits of paint coming away here on this one. This one's really bad condition. But this will keep it in the same condition once this is set. So regardless of the condition of your glass, it will remain in the same condition it's in after you've applied the Markseal to it. Now don't worry about little pieces like that you see. If you want, you can try and pick them out. Just wipe them off to the side.
but I wouldn't worry about it too much. There's another one. So spread the product out. Here's another piece of glass come off. See how delicate it is right there. Got to be so careful. Some of these glasses, the paint's virtually just sitting there. Now you might find you need a little bit more. You can pour more on, it's no problem. It doesn't set very quickly. This will still be very liquid for a good half an hour, even on the hottest days. After that it will start to set. And I'll be doing another glass later that's in much better condition, and they're really easy to do and really quick. You don't have to be too concerned about them like this one. Alright, now when you're finished, any brush marks you see, they'll settle down and disappear, so don't worry about that. But when you're finished, you need to make sure the glass is left to dry on a level surface. So find yourself something flat. You could leave it on the table you set it up on. You'll need to leave it for a day or two. Otherwise, just find something flat out of the way. Preferably, it might drip a little bit, so you don't want to put it on carpet or any surface like that. So just take it away and leave it set to dry. Now, at this point, I want to show you a backglass that you don't do. Now, this is from an F14 Tomcat. This is the type of glass that has the artwork actually on a printed sheet, as you can see here. Okay, there's the glass underneath. Now, you don't need to seal these, and if you did, it wouldn't help. It wouldn't hurt, but it wouldn't help. It would be of no use at all. These are a plastic product, and they generally don't seem to crack. Well, this one is what, mid-80s, so that makes it about 35 years old, and yeah, it's fine. This one's off a early electronic pinball called Stellar Wars, so I'll put it around that way. Now with these, you want to remove the trims. They just come off. You don't need to remove the bottom metal trim. There is artwork behind there, but you never see it and it won't be affected. Now this one's pretty dirty and it's just starting to go a bit. So once again, get your cloth. Don't spray it on the glass, spray it onto the cloth, because that will make sure that you control where the cleaner goes. And again, this one, I could probably clean a lot more of it. And as you can see, quite a bit of dirt's already coming off it. But I'll start by cleaning the important areas where the scores are displayed, and see how we go. Just pay close attention. You don't need to put much pressure on it. And as I said, the dust and dirt won't affect how the product sticks to the artwork. Let me just move that in a bit. If you're cleaning like this spot right here and the dirt's not coming off, don't worry about it. If a bit of glass cleaner won't remove it, it's not going to come off easy. It's not going to be a problem anyway. Only really loose dirt could be a problem, but if you put a thick coat of Markseal down, it'll penetrate anything. It actually penetrates the original paint just a fraction, so it can bond to it. Yeah, this one's pretty clean. It's as clean as it's going to need to be. Any dirt won't show through on the other side, so you don't have to worry about it. Now the other thing you want to do is when you finish cleaning it, you'd make sure it's fully dry, so I recommend you leave it for about half an hour and then come back to it. Now with this bigger glass, you're going to probably want to use 1.5 of these as, again, pressure pack lid for convenient size reference. Okay, so this glass is dry and ready for the Markseal. So again, I've filled one of these up about 3/4, maybe a little more. So we just pour that on. Now this will need about 2 of those. So I'll just get the second one. And again, just pour it anywhere you like. And this one will be quite easy. It's pretty secure, so you can just gently spread it out towards the edges. Don't worry about any that goes over the edge. Some droplets will probably form, but you can scrape those droplets off in about 2 days with a window label remover or a razor blade, something like that. They'll come off very easy. It won't be fully set, but it will be quite firm and it'll come off quite easily. You can scrape it even when it's fully set off bare glass, but it takes a lot more effort. But anything from 2, 3, 4 days, you could even probably leave it a week and it'll still be pretty easy to remove. And when you have finished the glass, leave it set for at least 2 days. I actually leave mine for about 4 to 5 days lying flat before I put them into the machine. So as you can see, there's plenty on this one. Now don't worry if you've put too much on, it'll dry and it'll set. Just keep spreading it out. You can't really put too much of this on, I mean, other than you're probably using more than you need to, but it won't affect the glass. It doesn't have any negative impact. And that's good. Just go over it twice. I always do, so you don't miss anywhere. Give it a good spread out. And then you're done. Okay, I've got one other glass to do. This is a Gottlieb Quick Draw mechanical. Now, it's not in bad condition. I'll give you a quick look at that. Looks pretty good, but it has got some lifting and it has got some cracks in the artwork, as you can see. Now we'll just put that in position. This one doesn't look too bad, but if you look carefully, the paint's very delicate around the scores. So once again, this glass is one I'd recommend just cleaning the clear areas. Just a little bit of cleaner soaked into the cloth. Just gently give them a quick wipe. That's all you need. Just get any dust. This actually looks pretty clean. You could probably get away with not doing it at all. And this bottom one here, I think I'd probably suggest that. If you see any of that paint starting to flake away, just leave it. Again, don't forget to do the replay score window. Now, as for the rest of this glass, as you can see here, it's gone, it's lifted off and it's cracked. It's peeling as well, same down here. If you ever want to touch up a back glass too, after you've done the Markseal and it's fully set, you can actually go around and apply paint to areas where the paint's disappeared, and the results actually are pretty good. I've done it many times. So let's get to work on this one. Find my first cap. Now I'm going to give this one, it's a mid-sized glass, so I'm going to give it about probably about 2 of these, maybe not quite. Now the trick here is with the bad areas, just pour this directly over the bad areas, really is the best way to do it. And just leave it. It should spread out pretty well. Where it doesn't, you can gently spread it with the brush, and you put it on pretty thick so that you don't have to actually touch the paint itself. So like that there. Other areas where it's pretty solid, you can just brush over it. Scores, you know, you can even sort of flood it over. Sort of sweep it over like that, but don't even touch the artwork if you can. Have it in the product, but not actually touching the paint. Just get it to swim over it, and that's it. Once you've got it over it, just leave it. It'll find its way and it'll settle down. Just do long strokes. Don't worry about throwing a bit over the edge. Just like I said earlier, make sure you have it on a surface. It won't matter if you spill it a bit. And if you're using a good table, maybe put a bit of cardboard down underneath, but make sure you elevate the glass off the surface, because any Markseal runs over the edge, it will stick to the surface of the table, and when you come to pick the glass up, you'll have a hard time. You might not get it up. So it's essential you have the glass elevated off the timber. It doesn't matter how far, you know, it could be a few centimeters or an inch, but make sure it's elevated. And it's also vital you make sure it's level. You're on level ground and the table itself is level. So otherwise this product will run off to whichever corner is the lowest. Have to be a little bit of a lean, but it can happen. So that's it. As you can see, it's very liquid, but it'll set to be quite hard. And once again, just go over your clear areas. I probably wouldn't do that one or that one because of the lifting paint, but that's it. That's got quite a thick coat on it there. You could have done that with a bit less, but that's fine. I generally like to put a thick coat on. It just sets even harder. Never had a problem with it, and there's no reason you should. All right, we'll put that one away in a moment and let it set. The glasses are dry now. I'm going to refit this one to its machine. Yeah, that looks good. Now we'll return to the workshop and look at one of the other glasses I sealed. There's a few final things I'd like to discuss about Markseal. Okay, 3 days have passed. I'm going to get that quick draw back glass. We did, you remember that one, there it is. All right, now we'll turn it over. There's the back there. It's, if you can see the shine, yeah. It's all set now, very dry. Now, on the other side, you'll find droplets around the edges that I spoke about. I'll just quickly go over them. That's them there. If you can see them, I'll bring the camera up. Bring it up to camera. You can see those droplets. That's from the Markseal running over the edge when it was applied. So all you do is put it back down on the table. Get yourself a good glass scraper. And away you go. And these droplets will just scrape off. They're still a little soft, so that's why they come off easier. If you'd left this for a couple of months, you could still get them off, but it would take a lot more effort than I'm providing now. And that's it. You can run around the edge with a bit of glass cleaner, but it shouldn't be too dirty. It wouldn't really need it, but I like to do it anyway. Give the glass its proper clean when you put it back in the machine. So now if you have a look, you can see those droplets. They're all gone. Okay, now I just thought I'd demonstrate on this glass. This is just a spare one I had that I wanted to seal for the purposes of the demonstration. But yeah, I just wanted to show you how strong this is when it's now. This is a wire brush. It's get it in camera. Now, if I was to put a wire brush on any normal back glass, the paint would disappear in no time, but not with Markseal. I'm giving that quite a bit of effort. You can hear it. Now I'll bring it up to the camera, you can have a look. Now I can just see some light scratches in that. You probably can't, but they are there. I'll try and get a bit of a different angle. But as you can see, unmarked, and any scratches that were put there from doing that are certainly not going to show through from the other side. So that's how durable the product is. Really is strong. It's not going to get anywhere near that kind of abuse in a pinball machine, but I just wanted to demonstrate how solid it sets. Okay, so we finished those back glasses. As you can see, it's a little delicate, especially when the glass has some peeling, but it's not difficult to do. Clean up, use mineral turpentine if you want to save the brush and clean it up, or any spills. That's all you'll need. And make sure you put the lid back on your tin of Markseal if you have some left. We created Markseal to preserve the artwork on pinball back glasses. So there wasn't a product on the market that was specifically designed to do just that. It was created in the late 90s. A good friend of mine who was a chemical scientist who worked on resins and adhesives in the automotive and aviation industry came up with it, and we trialled it on a few different glasses that were flaking and lifting over a couple of years, and it was absolutely superb, the results. I then started applying them to all the back glasses in my own private collection, and some of the games I've owned for over 30 years. every one of my silkscreen back glasses has Markseal on it, and has done for about 20 years now, and they are in exactly the same condition they were when I applied it all those years ago. So I know the product works and lasts, and that's the most important thing, that it lasts. So if you are interested in purchasing some Markseal, it is available from us. Just visit our website, pinball.com.au. All our contact details are there, and we do ship worldwide. We're starting to market this product now. We haven't really bothered up until now, but the word's slowly getting out, and I decided to make this show to show people what it does and how to apply it. So that's about it for today's show. As always, if you require any technical help or advice, or any service or repairs on your pinball machine, your arcade video game, please contact us. Please hit the like button, and to subscribe, hit the bell notification button too, and you'll be notified when we add new shows. I'm planning on doing some more soon. Has been a while since I did one, but I've got a few more on the cooker right now. I'm Mark Snyder. Thanks for watching Pinball Expert. We'll see you next time.
The Pinball Expert Show is produced by All Pinball Australia.
That's my high school.